Hi everyone, a very good noon to all of you. I hope I'm clearly visible and audible. Just let me know once. Good afternoon, Saket. Good afternoon, Vaishnav. How are you? Perfect. Thank you, Vanshita, Sonali. Hi, Sonali. Hello, Priyanshi. Hi, Prasanna. Thank you so much for confirming, guys. And I'm sorry I'm a little late today. But let's begin with our session. Right, so an interesting session this one. It talks about the importance of VARC in CAT, NMAT, and various other management entrance tests. So I think if you have taken some mocks, if you've even seen the pattern, the paper pattern of CAT, NMAT, OMETs, then I think you already know that this is a very important section. VRC is one of the most important sections that you have in any entrance exam. And moreover, CAT has sectional cutoffs, NMAT has sectional cutoffs, ZAT notification is out, even ZAT has sectional cutoffs. So whenever you have sectional cutoffs, that means that you have to perform well in a particular section to clear those cutoffs. At least you should clear the cutoffs, right? So that itself sets the importance of the section for you, isn't it? So I'll walk you through the importance of VRC in CAT because that's an exam that I'm assuming for which you've taken a number of mocks, right? And I'll also talk to you about NMAT because NMAT notification is out, and meant for many of you that will be the first test that you take before CAT, right? So, as you've taken various mock tests, you know that VARC is 1/3 of your CAT exam, right? It carries 24 questions, 16 from RC, 8 from VA. You know this story by now, right? I don't need to detail the pattern for you. Okay, I'm assuming all of you know the pattern, all of you have taken one test at least, or you've at least seen the paper pattern. Okay, so let's take a scenario by scenario example of the importance that VRC can hold for you. Okay, in your CAT exam. So if you look at it, VRC, let's assume that you're getting 21 marks right now out of 72. Okay, so this will fetch you approximately 85 percentile in your CAT. So I'm keeping 85 percentile as the starting point because some IIMs, for instance, IIM Lucknow last year, it required a sectional cutoff of 85 percentile in VRC. So इसलिए मैंने ये इसको starting point बनाया that let's assume you are here at 21 marks out of 72, you are getting an approximately 85 percentile. उससे थोड़ा ऊपर ही आएगा, नीचे नहीं आएगा. If everything is I'm going by CAT 22 here. Okay, so I'm stating this right in the beginning that whatever I tell you today is according to what we saw in CAT 2022. Okay, now QA, let's say you're getting 15 marks right now, आपके 5 questions net correct हो रहे हैं and you're getting an 87 percentile. So with this score you'll get an 87 percentile if the paper is as difficult as CAT 2022, right? And in DILR, you currently have 14 marks, and 14 marks, see here, will fetch you an approximately 88 percentile. So let's say this is where we stand currently in the late 80s, right? In the mid to late 80s. So that's my starting point. So my overall score will be 49 marks, and with these 49 marks, what is my overall percentile? My overall percentile is approximately 90. So I hope all of you know this, that your overall percentile is not a straightforward average of your 3 percentiles. It doesn't work that way, right? So your overall percentile currently is approximately 90, slightly higher than 90 in fact. And this is your starting point. So what can a section such as VARC do for you now at this juncture, right? Now let's say VARC is your strength. Okay, so I am somebody who teaches VARC, right? So in my experience, VARC is my strength. So that's what I play on, right? That's what I would play on if I took CAT 2023 this year. So now I understand that okay, VRC is important, and I feel that I can get at least one more question correct in each RC. Right. Currently, I feel that I'm making some silly mistakes in every RC, and I can get, if not in each RC, I can get at least 3 more questions correct. Let's say two from RCs. Out of 4 RCs, I just need to get 2 more questions correct, and out of 1 V, I need to get 1 more correct. So that will give me 9 more marks, right? At least 9 more marks. provided currently I am not attempting those incorrectly, isn't it? So let's say I manage 9 more marks. So with each mock that I take, I am able to improve by at least one question. And after 3 to 4 marks, 3 to 4 mocks, I have reached here. I have reached 21 plus 9 marks. So I have reached 30 marks in VARC. See the incremental increase in percentile. Earlier you were at an 85. Now straight away you've reached a 95. After just 3 more mocks, you've reached from 85 to 95 percentile in VARC. That is why I tell you, do not get bogged down by your mock scores. Okay, if let's say in your first mock you score low, in your second mock also if you score low, that's okay, right? With just consistent effort and consistent mock taking, 4 to 5 mocks, that means I'm talking about approximately a month. In 1 month itself, you can see a jump of 10 percentile in a sectional percentile, right? So VRC has increased to 95. Let's say Q and DILR are constant. Okay, I'm keeping them as constant. Still, my overall score has an increase of 9 marks and now I have reached 58 marks. So earlier I was a 90 percentiler in CAT mocks. See, my percentile increase. I'll straight away get a 4 percentile increase in a month, which is not bad, isn't it? So a 4 percentile increase in your overall percentile in a month is actually a very good score, a very good percentile. Okay, so we make these things to be more difficult than they are. So currently, if I tell a 90 percentiler that you can reach a 95 percentile in a matter of a month or a month and a half, the person would not believe me. But you trust data, right? That's why I brought some data for you today. Now see, now let's say you are an ace at VRC. So for some of you, VRC must be your absolute strength. Whereas let's say maybe QA is your absolute weakness. We all have that equation, right? For some, all three are balanced. For some, one section emerges to be the winner. So I was such a student. For me, one section was the winner, that was VRC. So if let's say you are also such a student for whom one section is a winner section. One section is where you ace it. So what happens in that scenario? What will a 99 percentile in VRC do for you? Let's see that. So this is scenario 3 where you've added, see what I have done here. I have got, so earlier I was at a 21, right? Which means I was getting 7 net correct. Then I managed 6 more net correct, so that on 13 net correct, I now have a score of 39 marks. So this is an improvement. This kind of an improvement will take me 1.5 to 2 months. This kind of improvement will take me 1.5 to 2 months. And fortunately, you have that kind of time, right? So now you are getting a 99 percentile in VRC, even if your scores are the same for QA and DILR. Let's say there's no improvement, which does not happen. I'm just taking a scenario here. The overall that you'll get is 68 marks, and look at your overall percentile. You started with a 90, you've reached a 97 in a matter of how many months? In a matter of this is 1.5 months. Okay, for some maybe 2 months. So this is how you can increase your percentile even if you are an ace at one section. And if that section happens to be VRC for you, nothing like it. Okay, I'll give you all the guidance that I can. It could be some other section also for you, but because I'm talking about the importance of VRC, I'm showing you the kind of difference that it can make. Make sense to everyone? Yes. So I hope now I have established the importance of VRC, not just from the perspective of how reading will help you in your managerial career, how reading will help you in your life, how grammar will help you in your writing. So these are the things that you already know, how VRC is helpful for your life, right? Now I'm talking to you about how it is helpful for you in your actual CAT exam. Okay, let's look at the importance of VRC in NMAT. Right. So if I look at the NMAT exam, you can see that speed is very crucial here when it comes to VARC. So see, all the sections have 36 questions each, but you get the least amount of time in VARC. They call it language skills. You get the least amount of time here only. That means speed becomes paramount. Speed in VARC becomes paramount. Moreover, I hope you know that NMAT is an adaptive test. Hanji, do we know this? That NMAT is adaptive. What is an adaptive test? Yes, tell me. What is an adaptive test? Okay, I need a response from you. I know it. So, in an adaptive test, your difficulty level depends on your accuracy. If you get an answer correct, if you answer a question correctly, the next question that appears on your screen will be slightly more difficult. So the difficulty level will keep on increasing as you keep answering the previous difficulty level questions correctly. It will keep on going up. Let's say at this juncture you marked something incorrectly. Then the difficulty level of the next question will be lower. So you must be thinking, oh, that's a good thing. I'm getting lower difficulty level questions now, easier questions now. But these will carry more marks, whereas these will carry less marks. Now, NMAT authorities do not reveal how many marks each question carries. You just get score ranges here. Okay. So 12 is the lowest score that you can get in language skills. 120 is the highest. It's a band. Right. So good, Vanshita. Good. Good, Shri. All right. So speed is important. That's one thing. Moreover, NMAT does not just ask you RC passages and verbal logic in the sense para-based questions. Just like CAT, it asks you these questions. I'm not saying it does not ask these questions, but it also includes, it also adds grammar, right? It adds verbal logic, right? So it adds these things. I'll show you the NMAT 2022 analysis also, what all question types came. But I hope you're realizing this, that speed is paramount. Your accuracy is, initial accuracy especially, you know, how many initial questions do you get correct? That will actually then put you on a higher point in the curve. Okay, so your speed and accuracy matter a lot when it comes to language skills. Moreover, NMAT as an exam has sectional cutoffs. So aisa nahi hai that I can do, you know, just skip language skills and ace only these two sections. I can't do that. I need see, this is last year's cutoffs. So 232 marks overall, and the highest that you needed was for language skills only, 76 marks. So for NMAT also, language skills or VARC is actually a very important section. In fact, going by last year, I think I can safely say the most important section with the least amount of time that you get. Right? So, these are the additional question types that are introduced when I talk about NMAT. So reading comprehension is something that's there in CAT also. Parajumbles is there in CAT, but here you have options. So these are MCQ parajumbles. Then grammar comes into the picture, vocabulary comes into the picture. In NMAT is popular for asking preposition based questions almost every year. So prepositions becomes a very important topic for you if you are going to take NMAT as your first test, right? Even before CAT. Analogies, again, vocabulary and logic based. So I'll call these two question types vocabulary based, these two grammar based. This is your logic, parajumbles, but with options, and two RCs were there last year. In some slots, they were of 5 questions each. In some slots, they were of 4 questions each. Okay. Does NMAT also detect false positives like GMAT? False positives would mean that it treats the answer as correct, even if it is not. So, I'll have to read up on this, Shri. In fact, this is something new that you've highlighted for me, that GMAT, I didn't know GMAT had this drawback if I am interpreting false positives correctly. Right? So, I hope this makes sense to you, that these are the extra question types that are asked in NMAT. And let's see some of these question types today. Okay, so that we know what all extra I have to prepare for when it comes to NMAT. Because I'm sure CAT preparation, all of you already started. Most of you are my regular students. So that gives me the confidence that you've also taken some mocks, right? I keep encouraging you to take mocks. And for NMAT, it's going to be a relatively different game for you because it's adaptive and because you have these new question types. So let's address the question type part of it here today. Okay. So now that we've established the importance of VARC in CAT and NMAT, let's look at this question here. Now NMAT gives you 5 options, even ZAT gives you 5 options, right? So tell me, what will be the answer to this question? Oh, okay, I'm hiding some of the options. I'm going invisible for a while. Okay, I've got three responses so far. All right. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 responses, and 3 of them say E. One of them says D. Okay, but most of you say E. Let's have a look like that. What is the correct answer here? Okay, so I think this question had a number of clues. Let me just highlight those clues before I tell you the correct answer. So when I say they discover, who are these they? Then we say these same historians here. Increasingly, a few of them suspect. Okay, 4 says in recent years, however, a few historians of science have been finding it more and more difficult to fulfill the functions that the concept of development by accumulation assigns to them. Okay. Now, if you see, the examiner is also pretty clever. You know, four out of my five options, they have four as the opening sentence, right? Let me just reduce my frame size a little. I think that will be more convenient for us. Okay, this should do. Yeah. So I was saying that four out of my five options have four as the opening sentence, right? Then three says, increasingly a few of them suspect that these are simply the wrong sorts of questions to ask. Which are the wrong sorts of questions to ask? There are questions that have been asked here. As chroniclers of an incremental process, they discover that additional research makes it harder, not easier, to answer questions like when was oxygen discovered, who first conceived of energy conservation. So if you see out of one and two, it's one that asks questions, and then these are simply the wrong sorts of questions will come after this. Now, the moment you realize this, you also have found out your answer. 4132. It was that simple. So when we have options, no, this question type becomes quite simple because you can always eliminate. Please make use of your options. Please eliminate. Don't just make an entire sequence. In a very difficult question, maybe you'll be required to do that. But most of the times through elimination and through identifying a couple of clues, a couple of connectors, you will be able to solve this question. And I hope that all of you realize that 4 is going to be the opening sentence. I think you have, because sometimes students think that just because there is a however here, it cannot be the opening sentence. That's a misconception. Just because a sentence has but, although, though, however, that does not mean that it can never be the opening sentence of a paragraph. It's a paragraph, not an essay, right? This is not a complete article that our first sentence cannot begin with however, right? This paragraph could be in continuation of a previous idea. So I hope this is clear to you, and I can go to my next question now. So this was about parajumbles. Look at this error correction question here with a twist. The twist is that you have options such as A or B. Okay, A or C, A and D, B and C, and no error. A or B means that one of them will be corrected. Okay, one of them needs to be corrected, right? At least one of them. That is what this means. And let's see what you say here. Yeah. What do you say? Okay, so I've got C, which is option 3. Then I've got B, okay, 2. Okay, so 2, 3, 4. Currently, these are the answers in the chat box. Okay. What about others? Why so few responses? Is it that long or difficult a question that you're not even taking the effort to attempt it? Okay, then let me discuss. See this here. Every person should realize one's highest potential in life. Okay. When do we use this pronoun one. See, one is an indefinite pronoun. It is singular, but it is also special. That's how I like to put it. It is singular and it is special. So what is so special about it? The special thing is that one, when you use it once in your sentence, okay, then in the continuation, if you want to refer to this person only, okay, basically it refers to anyone in general. So one must be honest to oneself. That means a person should be honest to himself or herself. That is what this sentence means. So you cannot use one without having used one here. Okay, so either you say one should realize one's highest potential in life, that would be correct, or you say every person should realize his or her highest potential in life. That would be correct. You cannot use one without here without having used it here, right? And similarly for any other pronoun. So for everyone also, had it been, let's say, everyone should realize again his or her. Okay, if everyone is one single word, everyone should realize his or her. Okay, not once. So one is special. You can use this word one only when you've used this word itself earlier, right? So if it is everyone, anyone, no one, they all take his or her. They will not take once. I hope this is clear to you. So therefore, our answer is that either A should be corrected or C should be corrected. Therefore, option 2. Okay. So how many of you said 2? Vinayak and Shri. They said 2. Sonali also said 2. Does this make sense to all of you? If there's any query, please ask. Yes. Tell me. All right. So I'm assuming there's no query. You are clear with the concept of one, an indefinite pronoun which is singular and special. Once used, it is the one that is continued. We cannot put his or her in its place. And we cannot use it randomly when another pronoun has been used in the beginning, such as every here, right? For everyone, every, each, anyone, any, someone, no one, we use his or her. We do not use one. Okay then. Next question. So here are 3 sentences. Okay. Then you have 5 options and the combinations of these prepositions are given to you. So you have to tell me that sequentially in each of these sentences, which preposition should be used. So you have to give me the correct combination. Let's say when I say ABD, so ABD means that in the first sentence A fits, in the second one B fits, and in the third one D fits. That is what ABD would mean. So let's say I want at least 13 responses, then only I'll discuss the answer to this one. Start. Attempt. Let's see. So I hope all the options are visible to you. And this is a super easy question. How many have I got? I'm counting the responses now. 10 I've got. 3 more I need. Achha, Vanshita changed her answer later on. All right. So 2, 3, 4, 5, pretty much all the options except one I've got. Okay. Let's see. So, the student responded to his teacher's instructions dash throwing a tantrum. All right. So let's start with the easiest one. I think the easiest one is this. She will wait dash 10:30. After that, she'll go ahead with her decision. So she'll wait till 10:30, right? Because others don't make sense. But then again, the examiner is also pretty clever. In 2, 3, 4, 5, all of them have C as the option for the second sentence. Let's look at this one. This is again easy. My sister Isha is named dash her grandmother. So before cannot come here. Till has already come, right? Now, some of you must be thinking, oh, by can fit here. But if you see, by is not there in any of the options. So even this is eliminated. So what are we left with? From her grandmother, after her grandmother. Again, from is not there in any of the options. So we are left with after only. So, eliminate smartly. Even if, let's say, in the exam, you do not know why a particular, let's say you don't know the concept of naming after. Let's say, I'm just assuming that, right? Then also you can smartly eliminate in such questions. Now, whether A will come here or B will come here, I think you're very smart to gauge this, that the students responded to his teacher's instructions by throwing a tantrum is the correct one. So our answer is going to be option 5, A, C, D. Okay. So how many of you said 5? Let's see. Shri, Vinayak, Vanshita, Imam, Shrishtu, Sonali. Good. So is this clear to you? So to name someone after someone, is that okay? You are keeping the same name as the grandmother had. So the grandmother's name was also Isha. So that's why the sister has also been named Isha. Okay. Then by throwing a tantrum means this was their response, right? This is how they responded. Their manner of response is what is described by. Okay. Also, there is a phrasal verb called to take after someone. To take after someone. I'm telling you this because it came to my mind as we studied this named after. So if let's say the sentence said, my sister Isha takes dash our grandmother, then also you would put after here. To take after someone means to look like them. Okay. To have either the physical appearance or the exact traits, attributes, attitudes that the other person had. That is to take after someone. Okay. So a phrasal verb for you here, which is sometimes asked as part of preposition questions. Now let's see a vocabulary question here. Again, 5 options. Okay. And these are your blanks. Okay. This is not to indicate a blank. So let me just change this. So these are your blanks, 2 blanks. And these are your options that can fit. So tell me which is the correct one. Let's see what you say. Who is a plaintiff? Okay, Vinayak says 2, Prasanna says 5, others, Shri says 1. Rahul says 2. Okay, so 2 is what I've got a lot. Others, yes, need more responses. Okay, so the responses that I've got are few, but let's look at this. So I asked you a question, who is a plaintiff? Because on that rests the answer to this question. So in every case, I mean, usually in every case, otherwise there are different types of cases. There is a plaintiff and there is a defendant. Plaintiff is the person who has made some allegations, made a complaint against someone. Defendant is the person against whom the complaint has been made. So this person has to defend himself or herself. This is the person who has made a complaint. Okay, you can associate plaint with complaint. Okay, so the complainant in a way. So the evidence was on the side of the plaintiff. Since all except one witness, that means almost everyone, all except one witness testified that his story, the plaintiff's story. So when would the evidence be on the side of the plaintiff? When they will say that, okay, his story was accurate, his story was correct, isn't it? So why have so many of you said second as the answer? Okay, so either this or this. The plaintiff has made the complaint. The plaintiff must have told a story also that, okay, this is all that happened to me. And if I'm saying that the dash of evidence was on the side of the plaintiff, right? Uh, so if you say the propensity is anyway does not fit here. Propensity means the inclination to do something. Let me write it here. Propensity means the inclination to do something. So the inclination of evidence, no, we are talking about the quantum of evidence, the volume of evidence here, right? So anyway, it does not fit here. The accuracy of evidence here, we are talking of the focus is on quantity. Okay, lack, more, not accuracy. So eliminated. Anyway, because of insufficient, it will be eliminated. Then let's look at the remaining two options. This says hearsay. His story was hearsay. When something is hearsay, that means suni sunai baatein. You've also heard them from somewhere else. You can't verify its accuracy, right? So in this case also, logically speaking, the evidence, okay, this is the dearth of evidence was on the side of the plaintiff. That itself does not make sense. Okay, dearth means lack. So the lack of evidence was on the side of the plaintiff. This becomes logically contradictory. So 4 is our answer. Paucity means lack. Again, this will logically not make sense, just like 5. The lack of evidence, then we'll not say was on the side of the plaintiff. We would say there was a lack of evidence for the plaintiff. On the side of the plaintiff indicates it's a favorable outcome for the plaintiff. So 1 5 eliminated. Our answer is 4. Preponderance again means to be present in a large quantity, number. Okay, so when we have more of the quantity of something, number of something, even quality of something, that is called then we say there is a preponderance of that thing, right? So the preponderance of evidence was on the side of the plaintiff, since all except one witness testified that his story was correct. So our answer is 4 here. Okay. Who said 4? Okay. Mickey said 4. Good, Mickey. Vanshita said 4, I think, for this one. Or was it for a previous question? But one of you, at least one of you said 4, so I'm happy. And this was a moderate question because you had to first know the meaning of this, then you had to make a logical connection here, and then you had to eliminate. And such questions can appear in NMAT and XAT both, right? Okay. Analogy, a question type again present in NMAT. In last year we saw in one slot there were 8 analogy questions. So that's a lot of analogy questions, right? And cat can Zat can also ask this, not cat. Zat can also ask such questions. So tell me, analgesic is to pain. Now, which is a similar pair? Which pair shares a similar relationship? What is an analgesic? Okay, let's see. This is not a difficult question. Yes, okay. Tarun says D. Others. I need more responses. Okay, Vinayak says A. Srishtu says C. All right. So I've got uh, D, A, C, B. Okay, except E, I've got everything. Anybody who says E also? And yes, what are the others doing? Not responding. In NMAT, you cannot proceed if you don't answer a question. You have to answer all the questions. Do you know that? So here you may not be answering, but there you have to answer. Right? Okay. Analgesic is simply a painkiller. Right? So painkiller, what does it do? It relieves pain. Painkiller relieves pain. So I'm looking for such a relationship. Okay. So just like painkiller relieves pain, I mean, can we say antiseptic relieves hygiene? Would that be correct? To say that antiseptic relieves hygiene? No. Antiseptic leads to hygiene. Okay. Sedative leads to sleep. Sedatives again are the medicines that are given to you so that you sleep. So even this is not the correct relationship. Antibiotic is a capsule. It may be in fact in the form of a capsule. It does not relieve capsule. Nostrum is the name for a fake medicine. A fake medicine is called a nostrum. So these relationships do not make sense. There is only one that does, which is B, which is C. Tranquilizer relieves anxiety. Okay, how many of you said this? Shrishtu said this, Shri said this, Priyanshi said this. Okay, what about others? This was not difficult. I think A and B could be very easily eliminated. Even D could be. So some of you may not have known the meaning of nostrum. So this one, between these two, you could have faced a problem. But otherwise, not a difficult question. A tranquilizer is something that is given to you so that you become, at ease. For instance, your movements become slower. You feel sleepier. That actually leads to your brain also becoming slightly slower, and that relieves your anxiety. So C is our answer. Okay. Does it make sense? So these are the new question types that can be asked from you in NMAT. Analogy, fill in the blanks based on vocabulary, preposition. Then we saw parajumbles, right? So verbal logic, grammar, error spotting. These are the new question types that you have to prepare for if you want to take the NMAT exam. And I hope you've realized how important VARC is for your CAT and for your NMAT. So if you've started taking the mocks, please do keep taking them. And trust me, if you are consistent with them, then in a matter of 1.5 months, you yourself will see a massive improvement. Okay, provided you analyze the mocks and you practice every day outside the mocks as well. Okay. All right. So this is our batch, this is our test series, sorry. And it has so many mocks for you. I was just talking about mocks, and here is the series. So you can consider enrolling in this. These are our CAT 22 toppers. And this is the comprehensive program that we have. So take a look. The link is in the description box. Also, do attend this workshop because it's going to be quite detailed in terms of what your study plan should be in the last 100 days. It will save you a lot of planning effort. It will make you more focused in your prep, which is, I think, the most important thing when you're preparing for an entrance test. Okay, so you'll get a clear-cut study plan. You'll see, okay, what will be the impact of the notification, if any, what changes can be expected, if any, right? And yeah, so these things you'll learn from Gautam sir. Do attend this workshop. 6th August, 11 a.m. Welcome guys, welcome. This is our scholarship test happening for our batch, okay, 13th August, 11 a.m. And this is a mock that will open from 11th August to 20th. All of you all should take this mock, okay, without fail. Do not be scared, kya score aayega, kya percentile aayega. Please don't worry about such things. Just take it. Okay, a lot of students across India are going to take it, so you will get a percentile that's very realistic, right? And we'll have video attempts, video solutions, all of those things, right? So guidance also after the mock. And yes, please join us on various social media platforms. Okay, we are active on all of these, right? And you can download our app for more sessions for practice questions. Okay, so this is it from my side for today. Thank you for attending. You're very welcome. I hope you gained something from this, especially the data analysis that I carried out for you in the beginning, right? All the very best. Bye-bye.